So while you're listening to your to your voicemail,
I didn't start Clubhouse. Give me a second.
it's all good. Well, so another live, another great one. Um, so by the way, Stephen, just for reference, we should change. You realize, huh? So we're not in French, but in English. Urgency, massive action, frequency equal growth. So every day we're here live talking to you about any tips, any tips to how to help you ultimately to grow your business. So while Etienne is texting,
I know I'm
because
good.
he cannot focus on doing multiple things at the same time.
All right.
Today we have fantastic. It's a fun subject because we are in a business where it is harsh, it is difficult, but if you do apply or if you do manage to get to that point of following up, which is the subject of today, you will get to your means.
Well, the most important part of the sales cycle is the actual following up. And it's not just following up, it's following up with added value. A straight, in the sense of the generic way, or for most salespeople, following up means just actually reaching out to someone and saying, are you interested? Have you made up your mind about the product or the service I'm offering? And doing that once or twice. Am I right?
Absolutely.
But what we want to do is not that. It's slightly different. We want to call or text or DM and use all of the different methods to have more than once or twice this follow-up, but by adding value and not asking necessarily for a commitment or a sales, and if it doesn't lead to it.
What do you mean by adding value? What does adding value means? Because we are in a business where we a lot think about the transaction, where we know we should focus on the relationship, but it is hard, or it can be hard to understand what does creating the relationship with. How do we create value?
Well, how do you create value in a relationship? How did you create value with your spouse? How did it all start?
Have you seen me?
Yes.
Have you seen this knowledge?
The appeal, which led for you to have that first meeting.
You're right.
You had to, if you were interested, and both of you were interested, you had to actually follow up. And how did you follow up? You followed up by saying, "Hey, it would be nice to go do this activity that I know you like."
Hey, what you doing? Hey.
Yeah, you followed up, and then you said, "Hey, I got meeting the thing you really liked, or I'm going and doing this that I know you really like." It's about the other person. It's what you bring to the table that's going to actually make that other person want to come to you. So you got to be giving. Giving is not necessarily money or tools or knowledge. It could be, but it's also attention. Everybody likes attention.
I got a tip. I feel I'm on fire today.
Let's go.
Remember yesterday we had amazing. Go check it out. Go check it out on our platform. We talked about. I can't remember. We talked about social media. Imagine every time you took every time you take your phone, and instead of consuming, do an actual growth activity that will allow you to scale. Imagine every time you think about someone, you just take your phone and do something of value to that person. So it's either go into social media and say, "Hey, enjoy your trip," or "a nice dog," or anything
as simple. I was thinking about you. I hope everything's great in your life.
A little text.
How's the world? How's you? How's this? How's that? How's the kids? How's the whatever? But it's these nurturing. I call them touches. Just send them out there. Send a lot of those out, and they will come back. So when we talk about following up the traditional way,
yes,
you want the frequency, you want the multiple, not just once or twice, or because you don't know the recipient, the state of mind, or the situation. I follow up with you about something. You just had a fight with your wife because I know you argue a lot. I'm kidding.
Call my wife.
I'm kidding. But my point is, maybe you just got some bad news or something, stressful in your life, or you got your hydro bill and it's a lot because the kids leave everything on, and so when I reach out, you might be interested, but the timing just might not be right.
My attention is not there because I'm focused on something else.
It's so well said. Your attention is not on the actual thing I'm calling you about. It does not mean you're not interested. So if I take that for, he didn't answer, he didn't return the text, the email, the whatever, the communication, then I'm going to think to myself, he's not interested. And then I'm going to move on to the next big mistake. So you want to never, ever stop the actual nurturing or following up because you don't know in what state of mind the other person or the recipient is.
And
Very
you know
powerful
what?
stuff.
I was just thought. I just thought of something.
I know I triggered this
You
in
did
people.
trigger. You did trigger that. Why do you think? What do you think people stop at the first or the second or the third follow up, or when they get to that, they're like, oh, that person didn't reply. I think most of the time it is because they feel that they're not giving back. So they're expecting that give back. So that's why they're like, oh, well,
Yeah.
you're not giving me back. So I'm gonna stop to that third or to that second to that third reaching out.
Give.
If you give without expecting anything,
Well, I don't want to go religious here on everybody, but I will.
it will come back.
Give and you shall receive.
There you go.
And now, it does not mean that
Amen to that.
you're not giving with the intent of receiving, but it means you have to give more than you will receive or that you want to receive. So give a lot. And that's true for, look, I love to read, as you know, you read too, biographies. Very successful people give way more than they actually receive. Now, you might say, well, wait a second. Okay, but I need to live and I need money, and that's okay, but that's going to be a byproduct. It's not going to be the main reason why you're doing the activity. So when you do the follow-up, same thing. It eliminates pressure too.
It does.
You eliminate it. If you're not looking for the conversion, if you're not concerned, I should say, with the conversion, you can focus on the individual. You can focus on just giving, and then you will never have to worry about receiving.
Well,
It's
well
hard
said.
to do.
It
It's
is
extremely hard to do, but it's once you start doing it, it will work.
The ultimate question: when do you stop following up?
Never. I will never stop following up.
Why?
Ever.
Why?
I don't care if you say I'm not interested. I don't want. I don't, because again, I said it. Right now, you're not, but I know that one day you will. It could take 20 years, but you will eventually see the value in what I have to offer. If
you keep bringing,
if I
value to the
believe
table.
in what I'm doing, if I believe in, but you best to believe in yourself. If you're in our example, you're a real estate broker, why would you stop? The need's going to be there. And on top of that, in real estate,
yes,
we know that the cycle, you buy a house, is 4.5 to 5 years. So maybe I've missed that cycle with you, but I'm going to keep following up forever and nurturing and adding value, because I know you're going to come to at some point wanting to sell or buy or invest or buy a secondary home or finance or refinance.
And we we see it so many times when you had that amazing relationship with with your buyer or your seller, and that one day you look on Centris, or you pass by, and all of a sudden that same house that you sold or you helped buy is for sale.
That feeling is like a knife in the heart.
Right.
I've lived it. Everybody, I think that's a broker has had that experience at least once, or maybe even more. You just didn't nurture. You didn't, and I never nurtured. I sold a house. I moved on. I didn't even remember the names. I didn't even write it down. Big mistake, but that's the reality. And then I was extremely disappointed and crushed when I was driving by and saw a house. And oh my God, these were my clients, and it was with Jeff.
That's right.
Of all people, Jeff. He doesn't even know half the things I know.
Probably, but I'm bringing more value.
That's right, because
I was there, and I nurtured, and I was there whenever they needed.
There you go. And that's what it is. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's simple.
Simple but hard to understand or comprehend.
Yes. Stephen, do we have any questions or comments in with our friends?
But wait, before you ask the questions, I want to just talk about something else.
No. But go ahead. If we have, do we have questions? Because I know he has something. So go ahead for questions.
Yeah, Mike was saying I deal with 400 people a year. How do you remember how to follow up with the?
He said he talks to 400.
Mike said he has 400 clients that he needs to nurture per year. And how do you remember everybody? How do you work 400 nurtures is what the question is.
You keep at it. You never stop.
No, You don't stop, but what you have to do at 400, we're doing it with thousands of people. You need
You
to
have
use
to-
a tool
Exactly. Use tools to
with artificial intelligence, some software that actually helps you remember and automates some of these things and that needs to take place. So we create what we like to call sequences.
Yes.
Sequences, and sequences can be before, so pre-purchase, pre-client, just to get the business, so to acquire the business. You can have sequences to service the client whilst you're doing whatever you're offering, and then you have post after the sale, after the transaction, so that you make sure you do not lose them or lose their attention. So the solution for you, Mike, with 400 is for sure you need to automate. You need to use tools like Salesforce or HubSpot or KV Core. Softwares that are designed with that in mind, so that you can not forget people. And then, it's customer relations management platform. That's what the name is.
Absolutely.
But add the artificial intelligence to it, and it becomes a very powerful tool.
It can be very powerful. And to come back to the point that 400 a year, well, that 400 is going to grow, because year one is 400, but the year two, if you bring a new 400, that means you have 800 people that you should nurture, and on year three, that means that's 1,200 people. So that's why it is.
I don't know. Yes, your database has to keep on growing, because if it doesn't, it depletes.
There you go. So that's why it is so important to understand those tools and apply them to your business, and help use those tools to help you nurture and create that relationship and build that relationship. Steven, do we have other questions or comments?
Yeah. Mark was just asking, at what point does it become harassment? How do you know?
At what point it becomes harassment?
Yeah,
because
I like that
if
question.
someone says, if that person who you approach is say, no, I'm not interested in selling my house. You call me 4 times in a year. I'm not interested in selling my house. I've been living here for the last 10 years. Or I just bought that house. I do not want to sell.
Well, that's why, Jeff and Mark, you're not asking for that. That's a sales follow-up. That's what I'm saying not to do. Don't go straight for the, hey, let's get married right away. That's harassment. That's why people will say, hey, he's harassing me because he doesn't understand. I'm not interested. But it's because you're not doing it the proper way, is what it is really in the end. Your approach is wrong. Your approach is not actually adding value if someone says you're harassing me.
Right.
Or it could be that your intention is good, your message is good, but the recipient is not listening, or you're not getting their attention correctly. So they're assuming that what you're saying is something else. It's not actually the message.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
You get it?
You get it? Because it's a bit complex what I just said, I think. But when you call, you or text or email or whatever, the intent has to be, how am I adding value to the recipient? In the question that you just said,
yes,
or I don't know who said, it was, are you ready to sell your house? That's not adding any value it's actually adding value for you. Or the perception is you're gaining from this, not the seller. You get it? No, but you understand the difference?
No, of course. But at one point, some people might feel that if you do that reach out all the time, they feel, or even though they see maybe the value, or you try to bring value to the table, but they feel that, oh, the only reason why you're bringing me value is because you want to sell me something ultimately.
Yeah, but that's because, again, the person's not listening. The person's not receptive to the message. So you can't control that part. If you're stuck and closed off, and you're like, anybody that talks to me, no matter what they say, they're bad people, or they're trying to sell me, or I'm weak and I'm going to say yes to whatever's being offered, then I can't control that. But that does not mean that I'm harassing people. I'm actually good intent is what I'm trying to bring. I'm trying to bring value. I'm trying to communicate and get to know you. I'm not going to push you until you vomit there. I'm going to do it in a more respectful way. I'm going to diversify my approach. This we could say, because if I call every day, it's going to be annoying. But if I call you, and then a couple of days or a couple of weeks, I text you, and then a couple of weeks or a couple of days, I DM you, or I email you, or I send you a letter by mail, and I'm diversifying my approach, guess what's going to happen?
Well, you'll end up getting the attention.
I'm gonna have the frequency of my message.
Yes.
I'm gonna not feel. The recipient's not gonna feel like it's too much because it's through different channels. It's
get it?
powerful stuff. You get it?
It is powerful. Stephen, do we have other questions or comments from our friends?
Oh, my sister's on.
We've seen, even if you call someone up and is prepared to offer them $500 or whatever it may be, if they don't answer, how do you, like, at what point do you just stop calling?
Never. Here's what I'm
Never
going to do. Can I answer this? Because I get excited
Have
about
fun,
these kinds
have
of
fun,
questions.
Have fun.
First of all, we will not do any one thing one time. It's going to be, we're going to call, we're going to text, we're going to voicemail drop, we're going to send a letter, we're going to do ad mail, we're going to go and leave something go door knock, we're going to find them on social media, we're going to ask them for to connect, or we're going to follow them. It sounds all like, oh my God, that's harassment. No, not at all, because I'm trying to find a way to connect. I'm trying to find a way to get their attention. And if I have their attention, I know that they're gonna be happy with what they're gonna get, because my intention is to add value. It's not to convert and ask them something. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Man, I should write a book. I should write about this now, because
Because we're already writing a book.
You know, about this kind of stuff.
We will eventually. I already thought of the second book. I got the title. I got everything. It's already it's done.
Will change your business, your life.
It will. Stephen, we have other questions or comments?
Yeah, Giovanni was just asking, when's your book coming out?
So when is the book coming out? So we are currently putting the book together. We conducted over close to 500 interviews. So now we're putting out that information together. We're going to sit down with the editorial team, and we hope to be able to release or to launch that book for this fall. So everything goes well.
But let's clarify, that book that Jeff's talking about is not about sales and marketing and all of what we're talking about in growing businesses. It's about who are the brokers of Quebec, the human side, like their mothers, grandfathers, sisters. They have kids, they have hobbies, they have other jobs, they have specialties, they're knowledgeable in other things. And it's to put that forward and to kind of demystify who all the brokers are.
Yes, you're right.
But if you're looking for more sales and marketing stuff, for now, this channel, I guess, would be your best bet. Or if you're in the greater Montreal area and you want to come and meet us, feel free.
Reach out.
4 offices across the island of Montreal: West Island, downtown, Westmount, and Saint Michel,
Montreal East.
Yeah, so we'd love to have you over.
And we're looking, and we're again expanding South Shore.
Oh yeah,
South Shore, Laval, Trois-Rivières, Quebec.
Gatineau area, Ottawa area. Yeah, absolutely. So excited about what's coming up in the future. Always wanting to share more knowledge, things that we do. This stuff that we're talking about is actually what we're doing. It's not things that we read or we think could work. It's what we do for our business to grow and scale, and it's been working quite. If you find our topics or our subject interesting, don't hesitate to comment, to tag your friend, to tag whoever you think that would get value into what we're doing. And reach out if you don't agree. Well, reach out, and it'll be a pleasure to discuss and to have a conversation about it, and how to we're open to get better. We want to get better every day. Better options, better solutions, better ways. Go ahead. Let's share. Let's talk. Let's share with everybody that's watching, because we reuse this content. By the way, it's not just a live. We take it, we extract what we think is intelligent and smart. And then we repost. So if you come up and you participate and you share something good that we can share back with everybody in the community, then great. See, about giving, you get it? It's all tied in.
What
we preach, we do. So it's the giving back. Give, and it will come. The money will come. The transactions will come. The business will come.
Beautiful. Well, again, thank you very much for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Jeff.
Tomorrow, actually, we have it's going to be a great episode, great live. So good. We will have one of our top brokers, Carly. If you are listening to us, I talked to her earlier, so she confirmed.
All right.
She's gonna be on in our live conversing about her. Anyways,
Yeah, you don't
we'll
want to
have a
miss
great
that
conversation
because it's one thing to hear it from us, or it's good to have the perspective of someone else that's actually super successful in the business,
Yes.
sharing their way of how they became who they became and having the success that they have. So there's not one way of doing anything that we know. So it's good to have it from a different angle, a different perspective, but someone that's doing it.
Yes, absolutely. So tomorrow, tune in at 4:00. We'll be live with our very successful broker, Carly. Can't wait to talk.
All right.
Have a
Take
good
care.
one.